Welcome to Math with Mr. J.
In this video, I'm going to go through a quick review of how to add and subtract large numbers without a calculator. We're going to start with addition and then move to subtraction. Let's jump into number 1, where we have 4,367 plus 962. The first thing that we need to do is set this problem up. So 4,367 plus 962. When we set up an addition problem, we need to line up the places. So for number 1, in the ones place, we have a 7 and a 2. In the tens place, we have a 6 and a 6. In the hundreds place, we have a 3 and a 9. And then in the thousands place, we have a 4. Only the top number in number 1 goes to the thousands place. Once we're lined up, we add, and we always start with the furthest place to the right. When working with whole numbers, this is going to be the ones place. We have 7 plus 2, which is 9. Now we work our way left. So next is the tens place. We have 6 plus 6. Now technically this is 60 plus 60 because we are in the tens place, but we can think of it as 6 plus 6. 6 plus 6 is 12, so put the 2 in the tens place and then carry the 1 to the hundreds place. Now, like I mentioned, technically we did 60 plus 60 because those 6's are in the tens place. 60 plus 60 is 120, so the 2 from 120 goes in the tens place, and then we carry the 1 from 120 to the hundreds place because that 1 has a value of 100. It's in the hundreds place. Now we move to the left to the hundreds place, where we have 1 plus 3 plus 9. Technically, this is 100 plus 300 plus 900 because we're in the hundreds place, but we can think of this as 1 plus 3 plus 9. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 9 is 13. So put the 3 in the hundreds place, and then carry the 1 over to the thousands place. Now we end by moving left to the thousands place, where we have 1 plus 4, which equals 5. Now technically we did 1,000 plus 4,000 because we are in the thousands place. We can place the comma in our answer, and we end up with 5,329. Let's move on to number 2, where we have 798,041 plus 583,876. Let's set this problem up. So 798,041 plus 583,876. So all of the places are lined up and we are ready to add. Starting with the ones place, we have 1 plus 6, which is 7. Now we work our way left. So we have the tens place next. We have 4 plus 7, which is 11. So put a 1 in the tens place and then carry a 1 over to the hundreds place. Now we can add the hundreds place. So we have 1 plus 0 plus 8. 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 8 is 9. Now we move left to the thousands place. We have 8 plus 3, which is 11. So put a 1 in the thousands place and then carry a 1 over to the 10,000s place. Now we move over to the 10,000s place, where we have 1 plus 9 plus 8. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 8 is 18. So put the 8 in the 10,000s place and then carry the 1 over to the 100,000s place. And then lastly, we move over to the 100,000s place, where we have 1 plus 7 plus 5. 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 5 is 13. So put the 3 in the 100,000s place and then carry the 1 over to the millions place. And we can bring that 1 straight down since there isn't anything else in the millions place. Now we can place the commas in our final answer, and we end up with 1,381,917. So there's how we add. Let's move on to subtraction. Here are our examples for subtraction. Let's jump into number 1, where we have 7,724 minus 3,540. The first thing that we need to do is set this problem up. So 7,724 minus 3,540. Now, when we set up a subtraction problem, we need to line up the places. For example, in number 1, we have the ones place, the 4 and the 0. We have the tens place, the 2 and the 4. We have the hundreds place, the 7 and the 5. And then we have the thousands place, the 7 and the 3. Once we have everything lined up, we can subtract, and we always start with the furthest place to the right. When working with whole numbers, that's always going to be the ones place. So we have 4 minus 0, which is 4. Now we work our way left. So next we have the tens place. We have 2 minus 4, which we can't do. We need to borrow. So we need to borrow from the place to the left, which is the hundreds place. So let's borrow from this 7, which is now a 6, and we have a 12. So 12 minus 4 gives us 8. Now we work our way left to the hundreds place, where we have 6 minus 5, which is 1. And then lastly, we have the thousands place. 7 minus 3 is 4. We can place the comma in our answer, and we end up with 4,184. Now, before moving on to number 2, I do want to talk about borrowing and what is happening when we do so. For example, when we borrowed from the 7 in number 1, we borrowed 1 from the 7. Technically, we borrowed 100 because that 7 is in the hundreds place and has a value of 700. Now we are subtracting in the tens place, so we technically have 20 minus 40, which we can't do. So borrowing that 1 with a value of 100 gives us 120. So we have 120 minus 40, which is 80. That 8 in the answer in the tens place has a value of 80. Now, as we went through the problem, we thought of this as 12 minus 4, which equals 8. But this is something to keep in mind anytime you need to borrow. Let's move on to number 2, where we have 417,608 minus 85,329. Let's set this problem up. So 417,608 minus 85,329. Now that we have the problem lined up, we can subtract, and we start with the ones place. We have 8 minus 9, which we can't do, so we need to borrow from the place to the left. But the place to the left, the tens place, we have a 0, so we can't borrow from a 0, so we need to go another place to the left to the hundreds place. Let's borrow from the 6 in the hundreds place, so this is now 5. We have a 10 here, but we need to borrow from the 10 in order to subtract in the ones place, so that's a 9. And then we end up with 18 minus 9. That gives us 9. Now we can work our way left. Next is the tens place. 9 minus 2 is 7. Now the hundreds place. 5 minus 3 is 2. Now the thousands place. 7 minus 5 is 2. And now the 10,000s place. We have 1 minus 8. We can't do that, so we need to borrow from the 100,000s place. That's now a 3. And we have 11 minus 8, which is 3. And then the 100,000s place, we just have a 3, so we can bring that 3 down. Place a comma in our answer, and we end up with 332,279. So there's a quick review of how to add and subtract large numbers without a calculator. I hope that helped. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.